Well, that's the condition of men. Pulled out the fork legs for about the 15th or the 20th time. Well, we have to be very, very careful when you do this again and again and again with the fasteners, with the bolts. You have to be very careful not to damage any of these threads. Sorry about the lighting, fellas, I can't help it. Managed to get about 850, 860 mils of oil. That would roughly translate to, and if you were to just look at it, I have about another 2-3 mils here, some few milliliters here, and of course the fork would have also ended up consuming some oil. This is mineral oil, definitely gets consumed, and so you're looking at 900 mils in total. That would be 450 per leg. The idea behind why all of this is I'm going ahead with compression on these fellas. These are fork preload adjusters, and what I am doing to them is, if you guys watch very closely, this is the spring preload part of it. And if you crank this particular screw or bolt, then you kind of compress this spring, and when you do that, this thing starts resisting bottoming. So there are these orifices over here, and each of them, there's 2 layers to this. One layer opens up for all the small fellas, the small hits, and the whole of this collapses. It opens up for the bigger hits, and I'm trying to create more resistance for the bigger hits with winding up the spring even more. So the bike was set at 3.5 turns. Now I've gone in with 5 turns. 5 turns just to take care of these huge whoops. I'm constantly studying and analyzing how this plays an impact on a motorcycle like that. This wasn't technically built for the Himalayan. This is more like an add-on for the Himalayan. I mean, this is like a universal component. You can throw this onto any motorcycle you want with the old school dampening style rod forks. Now the catch is, what made this famous across the globe was the DR650 forums. And the DR650 is about 160 kilos, roughly 40 kilos less than the Himalayan. So if you were to go, and mine stands at about 175, 176 kilos. So we are looking at a difference of 15 kilos. And for the DR650, a rider weighs 70, 75 kgs. What YSS, this is from YSS, what YSS suggests for you as a spring preload is 2.5 turns, 2.5 to 3 turns. And so keeping in mind that the bike is heavier by 15 kilos, I made it 3.5 turns. And that was more than sufficient. You guys should give this a try. If you're anywhere between 100 and 120 kilos, you can go 4 turns. Anything below 80 kilos, 3.5 turns should be more than enough for you to tackle any kind of terrain. And but yeah, not exactly in serious fast-paced whoops, landings, and very, very smooth sailing whoops. Keeping in mind the weight of the bike, now I've gone in with another turn and a half. So that's about 5 turns now on the spring preload on the valve emulator. This was the number 1 reason why I pulled out the forks. 2, there's one more to it. There's another reason why I pulled out the forks. That is to change from a 15 weight oil to a 20 weight oil. Now what this does is this is going to make rebound slightly slow. So the thing is, the way the motorcycle should work, from whatever riding that I've done, is I want very good rebound on the rear. I want fantastic, quick, fast rebound on the rear, but I really don't want quick, fast rebound on the front. I want the front to chip, to skip, to keep moving, not push down quickly and kind of make the front wheel lighter, make the front wheel heavier. I want the front to feel as light as it can, so that when you hit these rocks, these bumps, You know, the front just lifts comfortably. It just keeps lifting. I want the rebound to slow down so that, you know, I'm on top of the surface and I don't keep digging in and not have traction come up quickly. This is again considering fast-paced off-road riding scene scenario. This isn't for slow-pace tractoring business. For slow-pace tractoring business, you would want your front to stick to the ground no matter what. But this is for attack style riding. And so the front rebound, I just wanted to slow down a bit, so I'm going in with heavier weight oil. And the heavier weight clubbed with the, again, it will also stiffen up the fork, again resist bottoming out, because it will also add to the compression. And hopefully this will make for a setup which can do jumps and just keep moving forward, not dig in and then come out. Rather, do this, just keep moving forward. The whole idea is to keep moving forward, and if you get your suspension right, then you will always feel that the front and the rear, they allow you to propel, keep moving forward without any bit of this downward movement. I'm not a suspension guru, but if you feel this every single time you hit these bumps and whoops and pits, then you seriously could crank up the suspension. It's not cranking up, it's working on these components. That's going to make for like that constantly, instead of going in and out, like just keep moving forward like that. So that's very important. And a 20 weight oil and cranking up these fellas and cranking up these fellas, the compression this is to increase preload again, the overall preload, so that, you know, the sag is minimal on the front fork. The front fork sag is also a subjective thing. What I have is about 20% sag. Now I'm going to reduce it further, just to see to it that, you know, the front fork is at a height. And again, all of this is subjective to the ability of the rider, to the skills of the rider. This setup that I'm going in for, it would easily tire you down if you're not fit enough. So you have to be very, very consciously strengthening your forearms and your hand grip and everything to be able to take on this kind of a setup, because this kind of a setup is going to make the front end a lot more demanding if you do slow business. And again, if I were to go full on the preload adjuster, the fork is going to sit really tall and it's not going to tuck into corners, it's not going to turn well, so you'll have to slow down for turns. But the straight line thing, the drag thing on off-road terrain is going to be so much more easy. So just saying, every damn thing as far as suspension is subjective to the kind of riding that you do, the kind of ability you possess, and the terrain that you are on. So yeah, let me just quickly get done with the fork business. I'll start assembling the fork and I'll connect with you guys. Well, that does it. Bloody thing feels like it means business. With my bare hands, I can only push in about 2.5 inches. Let's just hope that this has a full length, the full 200 millimeters of travel. All thanks to this wonderful, wonderful device that when I go full hard and when I go heavier viscosity, I still don't have to worry, because I know, when I compress the spring a lot with the preload adjuster, and I also go in with heavy oil, I can still lean on this fellow to do the magic. Yeah, so we'll see how things work out once I'm on the track. But yeah, fantastic. Feels really, really solid and firm. Let me just get done with the other fork, and I'll put everything back on the motorcycle, and then we'll see.